I'm jumping back into this, y'all. I'm jumping back in. I don't know why my camera's shut off. It does that, but I'm jumping back in, and I'll just have to put this out as two separate videos, a part one and a part two. But as I was saying, that's because you don't realize that you are spiritually elevated. You are tapped in. As my sister cuz would say, a lot of us don't realize that we can outgrow our religious leaders. When God is calling you to do something spiritually, God does not care if you're certified. God does not care if you're licensed. Name a disciple that was certified. Name a disciple that was licensed. So you're telling me Mary Magdalene was a licensed, certified prostitute? God didn't save her? Jesus didn't use her? I don't see where we have the religious understanding to tell someone you're going to die and go to hell because you believe something different, because we're all taking different avenues to get to the same place. You know, there's places that don't believe in Jesus. There's places that believe in the sacredness of a cow. But if this is God of the world, if he's the same God yesterday, today, and forever, then God knows how to inherit those praises, because right there in Deuteronomy, he says that he shall scatter us among many nations and we shall speak many different tongues. So there's going to be many different beliefs, many different religions, many different conversations. But we all know that there's a higher power. Unless you have died, met him, and came back to confirm, it's a guessing game of who he is, what his name is, what he looks like. But what's not a guessing game is how God delivers, how he shows himself, reveals himself, how he moves in your life once you humble yourself. What's not a game is how God does fight your battles once you let go and let God. What's not a game is the fact that in every situation you've ever encountered in life, you can see where you've put yourself in that situation. You can also tell when God has removed you, when God stepped in and helped you bail out of that situation, clean up that situation for you, so you were able to put that situation behind you and still prosper. Still persevere. Now that's what's real. So what I'm saying is the one common denominator we all have, no matter what we believe, is the fact that we all believe in something spiritual. Now, I don't know what to tell an atheist. I don't know what to tell an atheist. Sometimes you have to go through things in life in order to be humble and change. Some people who, like I used to be, barely I had a fraction of a belief. And then, me losing the woman that I love to death, and the situation she put me in and how she handled everything and how nasty she was, that was enough to wake me up, to let me know that, hey, God told me this is why I'm removing you. This is why I'm removing you. Before the storm, this is why I am removing you, because you have an open mind. You know how they say closed mouths don't get fed? A closed mind does not get fed either. And we need to be open-minded when it comes to spirituality. We need to really close our minds when it comes to religiousness, because that is what's creating the gap in us understanding and coming together and moving on one accord spiritually. God inherits the soul. He gets your spirit from your soul, not from your flesh. Religion can't save you. Religion can't save you. But you changing your soul, you changing your spirit, you walking in God's spirit can save you. Okay, some people believe that you have to believe that Jesus is God's son. And religiously, I do. Spiritually, I can't confirm that, but religiously, I do. I believe that. Okay. But a Muslim would tell you that Jesus was just the highest prophet used by God. So would you still tell that Muslim that you're going to die and go to hell because you don't believe that Jesus is God's son? That's not judging. That's not judging. I'm human just like you. You don't know what someone else has been through to cause them to believe what they believe, or to cause them to have the story or the testimony that they have, or to cause them to have the awakening or the calling upon their life that they have. The Bible tells you, for we are all called according to God's purposes. For all things work out together for good for those who are loved according to God's purposes. I may be tearing that verse up a little bit, but you get the point. For those who are loved and called according to God's purposes. Real talk. We all have a calling. But for us to constantly separate each other just on a denominational scale, it's starting to be a little bit overwhelming. This is why you see a lot of churches shutting down. This is why you see a lot of people walking away from the church. This is why you see a lot of evil in the world, because a lot of people don't trust the church. A lot of people don't trust religion, which means that we're not trusting our spirituality. Genesis 1:27 says, "Come, let us make man in our image and our likeness." You're made in the image of God. You're made in the likeness of God. You're made in the spirit of God. They teach you that your body is the temple. Your body helps make up the church. We need to operate on a spiritual level. Spiritual level. If it does not agree with your spirit, and I'm not talking about those with the Luciferian spirit. I'm not talking about those with a narcissist spirit. I'm not talking about those with a Satanist spirit. We're not talking about these people. We're talking about anyone who operates on a spiritual belief. Not a religious standard, not a religious protocol, a spiritual belief. Someone who has been humbled to know that spirituality has carried them through. And when I say spirituality, yes, I mean God. But we can't confirm who God is. How do you know Christianity is right? How do you know Islam is wrong? How do you know Catholicism is right? How do you know Buddhism is wrong? How do we know these things? We don't know. We can only believe. We can only walk spiritually. We can only keep giving those praises to our God who inherits the praises of his people and hope that he can sort this out for us. So again, spirituality over religion, people. You know, spirituality over religion. If there is no gateway for the dead in heaven to get back, then tell me, even though it was divine, you tell me how Jesus did it and appeared to 500 in Galilee. Then you tell me how a double portion of Elijah's spirit was left here with Elijah. The closing of Malachi predicted Elijah being the last prophet to come before Jesus Christ, the Lord himself. And then you get John the Baptist, and Bible scholars clean it up by saying John the Baptist was born in the spirit of Elijah. Make it make sense when Jesus was on the cross and he crawled out, "Eli, Eli," meaning, "My God, my God." And everyone continuously asked Jesus, "Are you Eli? Are you Elijah? Are you the one to come?" Spirituality, people. Spirituality, people. Spirituality, people. Spirituality, people. Tap in spiritually. Tap in spiritually. Let the doctrines go. Tap in spiritually, y'all. Tap in spiritually. With that being said, y'all get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one with your higher powers. Get your one-on-one with God. Get your one-on-one with the creator of everything. Don't let no one judge you. Keep doing what you're doing as long as you're doing something positive, and keep being a vessel of God. Keep the ministry alive. Keep God alive in the world, because God is dead in the world right now. Keep God alive in the world, y'all. Be protected. Stay meditated up. Stay prayed up. Stay blessed. Oops, I said that all backwards. Stay prayed up. Stay meditated up. Stay protected. Stay real, stay woke, stay uncut, be inspired, be great, and always, through the grace of God, give God the glory and be you. Ashe.